Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 14th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see BC, Washington, Oregon, Idaho. Check out this upper level low. You can really see it now in the infrared satellite imagery moving up across Nevada. This will continue up towards Oregon today and eventually up over Washington, possibly including some of southwest BC, western Washington, and some thunderstorm activity. Look at this big trough dug out over the Pacific Ocean. This huge ridge just developed all the way up the west coast into Canada. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as well, and we're going to home in on some of these thunderstorm details coming up here in a moment. This is looking at SeaTac, another record high yesterday, 86 degrees. You see we got 82 the day before. That's back-to-back days, and we're going to make a run at that again here today. The 88 degree temperature back in 2018 may fall today. We could potentially even get 90 degrees here at SeaTac, and then we have a chance to break another record tomorrow depending on cloud cover and thunderstorm activity. This is Portland. Look at that, 93 yesterday, record high for the day here, 2023, and now the record high for today is 91. And if you look at the forecast for Sunday, you can see Portland right at 92 there. It might be another record high again today for Portland. It's very warm temperatures. You can see Kelso at 93 there. Look at Vancouver at 92, Eugene at 94 degrees, Salem 92. Here we go. Now, just a heads up here, it is up to us to reduce the amount of fires that are starting across Pacific Northwest. As you probably have heard, a lot of Alberta and some of Canada is already starting up their forest fire season, and that is not good news here to get it going in May. So be careful out there. Relative humidities are low. We got these gusty east winds. We could easily start to kick off some fires already very early in the season. This is kind of showing Canada. Rocky Mountains here is British Columbia, Washington. You can see the extreme fire danger east of the Rockies, and including some of British Columbia, and this would extend down into Washington too. There's going to be some elevated fire concerns here going through the next few days. Look at the National Weather Service current hazards. The heat advisory extends all the way across the western Washington lowlands towards the coastline here, including the Willamette Valley and some of northern California there. So that is what's going on as far as current hazards are concerned. Here we're looking at the GFS, last night's run. You see that upper level low moving across Nevada towards Oregon as you go through the day-to-day. Big ridge still developed over Canada here. Big troughing as we saw in the infrared satellite imagery out over the Pacific Ocean. And if we put that into motion, you can see the ridge still dominating. The trough tries to make some headway towards Pacific Northwest and kind of leaves us in a southerly defluent flow of loft. So we could even continue some thunderstorms, especially Cascades east, as we go through the end of the week towards the next weekend. Then the GFS, as we go into the following weekend here, wants to swing this trough across British Columbia here. So we'll watch this one closely. The European has something similar, but it's weaker and further north. So we'll watch that one and see if that brings some sort of a cool down, maybe back towards normal, before maybe some ridging continues on through the extended. But we're looking way out in the future here, kind of looking at the tea leaves, and you can see this trough opening over the southwest USA. A little bit of a difference here as well. Might bring some severe weather return to the across Tornado Alley and some of the Great Plains there. Models always in flux at that range, however. Now we're looking at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. This is a geopotential height here in absolute vorticity. So you can kind of see that upper level low shows up really well here at 18,000 feet. Moving over Oregon here. We go on to the future a little bit more. Here goes Monday, and you can see it kind of center right over Portland here, some of western Washington. So there's going to be some thunderstorm activity most likely across a lot of the region here on Monday. These systems have a tendency to overproduce too. It's very hard to nail down the details, but right now it looks best dynamic Seattle south and across some of the Cascades for the instability. We'll go over some of that here in a moment as well. This is looking at convective available potential energy, and we'll back up a little bit here, and you can see as we go on into the morning Monday, look at as we go through Monday afternoon, some of the instability setting up again, mainly Seattle south, Cascades especially, could include Portland there as well, and we'll go on into Tuesday here, and you see the instability still around again, especially Cascades east, still showing some of western Oregon, southwest Washington in that greatest instability area there. And then as we go on in through onto this Wednesday night there, still some instability around. Going to Thursday, you could still have some thunderstorms going on here. So yeah, we could get a nice prolonged period of some thunderstorm activity across the area. This is looking at simulated water vapor here, and this is the GFS. So I wanted to show you this. You can see the upper level low moving here, and you can see the thunderstorm activity popping up here across some of the areas. We go through Monday afternoon, Monday evening, and Monday night. Then we go on through Tuesday. You can see it pop up again here. This one favoring some of BC and northern Washington. Here we go on into Wednesday. Thunderstorm chances continue. Here goes Thursday. You can see that a little bit across BC and some of southern BC. Now, as we go on in through Friday, we continue this southerly flow aloft, this defluent flow aloft, and continue to pop off some thunderstorms here across the Cascades. Those are moving off to the north and the west at this point. Actually, northeast, sorry, at this point. And then you can see again maybe on Saturday. So we could be looking at some prolonged thunderstorm activity here across some of the region. This is looking at lightning flash density potential on last night's European run. Move through the day today. Scroll through. You can see that thunderstorm potential mainly for the southern portion of Oregon and southern Idaho here through the afternoon. As we go on into Monday, you'll start to see this instability and this thunderstorm potential really increase across western Washington, western Oregon here. And again, these systems like to overproduce with the extent of the thunderstorms here. It's hard to pin down details, but like I said, Seattle south looks like favored areas now, and especially across the Cascades. Now we're going to scroll on into Tuesday as well, and you'll continue to see the thunderstorm threat, possibly even still some across some western Washington and western Oregon here. Now, looking at lightning flash density potential on the HRRR. This is the 12Z run. It goes out 48 hours. And I'm going to scroll through today some of this activity encroaching into Oregon as we go through the afternoon and evening hours, right near the Washington border overnight into tomorrow morning. Then you can kind of see that spin in the atmosphere start to include western Washington. Look at the Seattle Metro getting involved here by the time. This would be about 8 p.m. on Monday night. So there could be some lightning shows going on here across some of western Washington, western Oregon. As you can see, these showers are moving from the Cascades out over the lowlands, shown on the HRRR here. This is looking at daily max 2-meter temperatures. So here we go for Sunday. You can see Seattle right up towards its record high of 88. Portland needs to get about 91 to tie its all-time record high. The forecast high is about 92. Now here we go. This is Monday. Look at Seattle, potentially a 90-degree day here. Again, this is going to depend on how much cloud cover occurs at peak heating time, because the clouds are going to be moving in during the afternoon hours. But you see very warm conditions here across Pacific Northwest. Here we go. Tuesday, another very warm day, 82, probably upper 80s for Portland here, some 90s in eastern Washington. Wednesday, 84 for Seattle, Portland 90. You can see Thursday, very warm conditions continue here across Pacific Northwest, dropping back down a hair on Friday, but still plenty warm here across the region. There's Saturday, Sunday, and then potential for a little bit of a cool down, but still above average temperatures showing up here as we go on into the following Monday and Tuesday. But we're really just kind of reading tea leaves at this point. We're going to have to watch this trough that's going to swing through British Columbia and see how much it's going to affect our temperatures. Here we go, Seattle, Tacoma. This is looking at the European ensemble runs. You can see pretty good agreement in the individual members here between the control and the mean. We're showing some temperatures up through the 80s, or into the 80s at least, as we go on in through the end of the week probably here before we start to get a little bit more uncertainty as we go off into the future as always. This is looking at the thermal trough. So it is Sunday morning, and this thing is really positioned well right now. Look at this high pressure here over the interior, and you can imagine this air flowing from high to low here, the offshore component across the Pacific Northwest with this thermal trough reaching up the coastline here, and we've got an upper level low that doesn't show up nearly as well. If you look here, you're just not really seeing that low pressure system there because it's mainly an upper level feature, although it might be getting reflected a bit here in this low pressure off the Oregon coast at this point. But anyway, yeah, a classic signature for a thermal trough this morning here across the Pacific Northwest. And that's highlighted here by this offshore flow. You can see these northeast winds across southwest BC, and you can see these strong offshore winds coming across eastern Washington all the way up to the coastline here. Put that into motion. That's going to continue on in through the day Monday here coming up. Now looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, this was issued yesterday here, but the bullseye here all the way through May 23rd for the above average conditions, and all the way through May 27th, most likely above average for this period here, although we could have a brief cool down coming through next week, and we'll continue to watch that through the next few days. Here, this was issued May 12th. This is weeks 3 through 4, kind of May 27th through June 9th period. Look at the signal there across Pacific Northwest for above average temperatures. And this is weeks 3 to 4 precipitation here. And you can kind of see that little bullseye here right across Washington, down into portions of Oregon here with the above average signal across a lot of the Mountain West down towards Texas, maybe some of the West Plains here. Look at the U.S. seasonal drought outlook. So this is kind of concerning. You can see the yellow here, and you look down here, it says drought development likely. This is including some of the east slopes of the Cascades of Washington, out across the Columbia Basin here, some in northeast Washington as well. Drought persists in these brown areas across Pacific Northwest. So hopefully we're not getting an early start on fire season. A lot of lightning strikes are going to be taking place here over the next couple of days, and those are potential fire starters as well. So it's not just humans that kick these things off. So hopefully we can contain those and not have a repeat of last year where that Bolt Creek fire just kind of pumped smoke across a lot of the Puget Sound area for it seemed like months. But anyway, yeah, so I'll probably be out and about tomorrow trying to film some lightning strikes. If I can get a good setup, I will try to live stream and do some Q&As tomorrow, and I'll try to just kind of show where I am and what the storms are doing and whatnot. But I'll do another briefing tomorrow morning before I head out, of course, like always. So anyway, yeah, let's enjoy these thunderstorms coming up here. I know a lot of people get really excited when you get some lightning here. It's a pretty rare occurrence here across a lot of the Pacific Northwest. So enjoy it while it lasts, and enjoy these warm temperatures while they last here. But we are moving into June and July coming up here as well. So things should stay on the warm side, get those tomatoes in the ground, etc. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.